Social justice is something that my travels have taught me is very important for the world and for its functioning in a sustainable way. My field is sustainable economic development, and to have sustainability for society to prosper and flourish over time, you have to have a system that moves forward, and not one that breaks down with people squabbling and killing one another. Social justice is generally very important for crime prevention and for healthy, sustainable development. My name is Dr. Joan Hoffman. I'm a professor in the economics department, and I have taught courses on Introduction to Economics for graduate students, environmental crime, and I co-taught a course in corruption. My travels in different countries, which have been extensive, crossing several continents, I think really have helped me to teach economic development, because not only did I see some of the problems firsthand, but I understood the differences in cultures, the differences in how people might see things, and I'm able to bring this into the classroom. I suppose it also helped me to realize the power of discrimination in my travels. One thing that I think was rather sad for me was that wherever I went, there was an other, and a tendency to blame the others for things gone wrong. Seeing what people had for health. I remember, in Indonesia and in Guatemala, just seeing children and people who were so maimed. It was clear that they didn't have the fundamentals of health. With poverty, people didn't have the chance to have these, the fundamentals of health taken care of. I also had been to Cuba. And one thing that did impress me there was that one of the first things they did was they set up all of these clinics in the countryside. And they have done a great deal with health, so that I saw that even a country that was fairly poor could choose to attend to these matters. One reason that it's good to use something called the Human Development Index that we use when we teach, which is not only about what your per capita income is, but how people do on variables of health and education. And you will see that even though a country might have a somewhat lower per capita income, it might be higher on the Human Development Index. The graduate students here, I think, are very motivated to go out and do something meaningful in the world, and they're very committed. Several graduate students have helped me. For instance, I had a brilliant young graduate student from Ecuador, Wendy Chavez, who was an outstanding research assistant in helping me on my book. I wrote a book called The Cooperation Challenge, which was a study of sustainable development. There was another student in the graduate program who helped me in my most recent project, in which I'm studying how 3 cities are learning to be sustainable, looking at the difference in patterns over that decade from 2000 to 2010. And I had a graduate student work on the census data with me, in part because she was interested in learning how to work with Excel and with census data. So it was like a win-win trade. I taught her a little, she helped me a little, and that worked out very well. I might have been one of the first people to write about the links between sustainability and criminal justice. If you go back on my Vita, you'll see a publication from long ago. And as I probably mentioned earlier, I do think that sustainable economic development, something that allows people to be effective economic agents in their own interest, among other things, is very important for crime prevention. As a result of working at John Jay, I really became more aware than when I first came of the issues of illegality. And my understanding grew that you could not understand the economy by just looking at the legal parts of the economy, and especially for environmental protection, where what you want to do is prevent something from happening because it could be dire. It was important that you consider what the illegal ramifications of what you're doing would be. I know we have developed a course in environmental crime, and one of the questions there is, do bans work? I have written about a topic I would call legal economic responsiveness, or when you have economic change, when you have a change in economic structure, one of the questions is whether or not the society provides you with the legal means to adapt to that change. Some of the dangers to the environment and to carbon accumulation in the atmosphere happen throughout the life cycle of energy, and they happen far, far away in other countries. And so there has to be international monitoring and international watchdogging to see what's going on. And I think this is something that some of the graduate students in the MICJ program will see looming ever larger in their future.